Hello, welcome to another Tonalist landscape oil painting demonstration. This is your painter in residence, M. Francis McCarthy. And the painting I'm bringing you today is called Sunrise Over the Bay. It's a 4x6, and I painted this last week. I'm real happy with it. I hope you enjoy watching me put it together, and I hope to lay some good tips on you along the way. First of all, maybe you've noticed I'm working on red instead of my what has been my usual for the last year or two, hardboard tone. You know, usually I was working on that hardboard with just some transparent gesso. This is actually MDF. Don't ask me what that means. I can't remember. It'll come to me. I know the hardboard's called high density fiberboard, HDF. Maybe medium density fiberboard. Okay. Anyway, I had a bunch of this stuff in a box, and so I've been using it for these little 4x6s, and I'm able to get a very nice burnt sienna color on the MDF because I'll use some transparent gesso and a little bit of pardon me, a little bit of acrylic paint, burnt sienna in this case, and I put 2 coats down with the transparent gesso, a little bit of that paint in there, and I get the lovely color you see here. Just recently, now that I have been wanting a very similar color on the hardboard, but it has been really not that easy to get the exact red I want. And I don't mind telling you the solution I came up with. First, I'll tell you what I did that didn't work. My idea was, so if I go on there with the transparent gesso and some acrylic burnt sienna, what I get is very dark. And then I started adding in, you know, yellow ochre and maybe a little raw umber just to tone things properly, and I kind of got something okay. And then I was thinking, oh, that's just okay. So my next strategy was to lay down 2 coats of white gesso, and then the burnt sienna with the transparent gesso, and I was able to get a pretty good result. But after 3 coats of the burnt sienna, 2 coats of the white, I'm thinking this is way too much work. So all that said, this was my brilliant idea. I was like, I remember being at the hardware store, and you know, you're always walking by this paint chips. So I was thinking, they got a color there like burnt sienna. It's beautiful. Oh, by the way, you know, I think I've got this question in the back. Why can't you just use regular gesso? People might ask. If you want that burnt sienna tone, well, if you add the burnt sienna to white gesso, you're going to get this kind of weird pinkish color. It'll be kind of sort of orangey. It kind of goes just this odd pink. It's okay in sky sometimes, but I wouldn't want to paint on that. So anyway, what I ended up doing was going to our local big box hardware store, and I grabbed one of the paint chips that looked very much to me like burnt sienna, and I got a little tester pot, 2 coats on the hardboard, and it looked beautiful, just beautiful. What a beautiful color and texture to paint on. Also the kind of matte, almost just the tiniest amount of gloss on it. Beautiful surface. I just painted on it today. It was such a great experience. And so if you want to paint, if you like painting on a certain color, now as far as cost goes, that little tester pot was maybe a quarter of a liter, something, half a liter. I don't know. I don't know my liters very well. It was about $17, $18 New Zealand, which would have been like $11 or so, $12 maybe, US, something like that. It wasn't expensive. That'd cover a heck of a lot of paintings, but I went ahead and got a whole liter of it just because I want to have it around. I love it. It's awesome. And you might go, well, Mike, you get real excited about things like that. I mean, come on, it's not even the painting. And this is something I'm always teaching. Here's your big tip. That was a good tip, I think. But here's the even better tip. Every part of your painting is important. No part of your painting is unimportant. the board you're painting on, the proportions that you've chose to paint, whether it's square or an 8 by 10 or an 8 by 12, or which is the golden mean proportion, or something like a 12 by 16, 11 by 14, all the different variations, whether it's vertical, horizontal, that's super important. The texture of the surface is very important. Now, some people just got to have that canvas thing. And by the way, everything I'm teaching you and everything I'm going to be teaching in these upcoming video courses, don't think I forgot. I am going to mention it. I'm not going to harp on it though. Just know it's coming. I've done one and it's pretty dang good, but it's not quite the first thing I want to roll out. I'm going to end up bundling that with my Tonalism course, which I was working on today. It's so awesome. Anyway, back to my original diatribe here. The color. Now, some people can work on white. If you're going to work on white, I recommend doing kind of a toned thing, maybe with some spirits, thinning down the paint so you don't have the possibility of the white peeking through. Or you can do a block in, you know, which is big expanses of color that all connect. There's a lot of different things you can do. I think it's best to work on a colored ground. Now, colors I like yellow ochre, I like raw sienna, I like burnt sienna. If you look at the early days of this channel, I went on for like I was painting before the YouTube era on the burnt sienna tones. So I was painting on burnt sienna for maybe 5 years straight. I really love it. I love that red. It's just so tonal. It really gives you the ultimate tonal results, which is why I'm doing my video course on tonalism with the red, old school. Anyway, that color's really critical, and that texture is very critical. The feel of it's critical. Even though you haven't started painting anything, it should be beautiful. Everything should be beautiful. Every part of the painting all the way through. Now, there may be painters out there that'll teach you that it doesn't matter. You can have it ugly, 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 and then at the very end you make everything beautiful. I'm not going to be the guy to tell you that that won't work, but it wouldn't work for me. You know, the way to get a beautiful painting is you have to keep adding beauty on beauty on beauty. If you go too far, you got bad composition, etc., so on and so forth, then you're going to maybe diminish the beauty. I'm really thinking this composition is pretty cool, and I don't generally, the actual painting, which you can see in the members area, was about a 2-hour long session, and that included the color mixing sessions and things like that. Oh, hold on, what's this? My book? So many of you have got the book, and I really thank you. I appreciate that, and I've had so many really gratifying comments about how it's helped people. And you know, when you're creating something like this, you just hope it will, and you hope you're doing a good job communicating. And it's been one of the best experiences in my life making that book, and I have to say it's going to be topped by these courses I'm working on. So if you're not on my mailing list, if you are on my mailing list, just be patient with me. I've had to go with a new carrier. But if you're not on my mailing list, get on the mailing list, because there'll be special offers and discounts going out to people on the mailing list, first and foremost, because those are the people I really want to reach. Those people that want to be reached, right? Okay, so adding on beauty on beauty, well, let's just talk a little bit more about the special quality of working on this red. Now, I don't know how much you know about tonalism, but other than my book, there may be another book I'm not aware of, but other than my book, there's only another one that I'm aware of, and it's by Burge Harrison. It's called Landscape Painting. You can get it on Amazon. It is, if you get the physical one, it's just one of these, you know, where they scan and reprint it kind of jobbies. You can get it online for free. I believe the Internet Archive has it. It's a good book, don't get me wrong. One of his big things in that book that he stresses, that he believes the main innovation of the tonalists was working on red. Now, I believe I can get tonal results on brown, and I believe that Camille Corot got tonal results on brown. Granted, Camille was not the most awesome of colorists, but when it comes to a tonal quality, the edges, the feel, he's absolutely a tonalist. Anyone who says he isn't, I really don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, not trying to start anything, by the way. I just think he's very much a tonalist. Now you could call it Barbizon, you can call it what you want. And so many of the Americans took that innovation of Camille and brought it to the States and added some amazing color. And I think that's where the red really come into play. And it is very, very powerful. Burge is absolutely right about that. It's super powerful. It gives you this hum. One of the things I really enjoyed doing it, you can see I did it in the tree there, that bit I just painted right there. I painted very lightly, and you see red coming up and humming through the green. Now, if you go to my playlist area, I don't know if you've been around over there. It's been a while since I've done a playlist. I really should update a few. But there is the 100 Days of Tonalism. That is the video series that I started the channel with back in 2015. And you'll see I was working on 5x7s and that they were toned burnt sienna. And many times, one of my favorite tricks to do was to just lay down a very thin green over the top of the red, and that got me amazing results, you know, just about every time. So I remembered that. Now that doesn't work as well on the hardboard. The hardboard forces me to work in a more opaque fashion. Generally, you can certainly leave a lot of hardboard peeking through, and God knows I have done. Same goes with the red. A lot of red peeking through, creating that hum, that buzz, and it really makes it easy to get a tonal effect, and that's one of the reasons why I'm featuring it in the course I'm working on, because I think it's easier. And there'll be a little lesson covering the board prep I did, but you've got the Pressy right there, so you could go down to the paint store, get yourself a little can of something close to burnt sienna. If you're not real sure what burnt sienna is, you know, just get one of your tubes of burnt sienna. If you don't have a tube of burnt sienna, you probably should get one, unless you're doing the limited palette thing, which is the other course I've already done. Limited palettes are super effective for learning how to paint. So if you're somebody who's brand new, you came here, you're looking for this, what I'm using here is a full palette, and in the members area there's a full breakdown of all the colors I mixed to make these constituent colors. I'm guessing that on my regular full palette there's probably about 14 to 17 colors. It's been a while since I counted them. But limited palette scenario, I might, in fact, the video that I did put together, the video course, that is just black, phthalo blue, cad red, cad yellow, and white, right? That's not very many colors, but if you're starting out, the reason why that's a great palette to start out with is if you have a bunch of extra colors, you'll be sitting there going, is this the time to use this? Is this what I want to do? And instead of that, just try and mix the colors with the limited palette. You're gonna fall quite a bit short of where you're headed, but what you really will learn is all the different things that yellow will do with that red, and with little bits of blue, and all the different things the red will do with the blue and the white. And then my wrinkle, of course, is I add the black as a color killer. And it has other uses. Mostly I get a nice green with it. Yeah. Anyway, we're not doing a limited palette painting here, but you know me, I'm sidebarring. But it is a 15-minute video, and I assume that only the most interested of my subscribers actually make it this far, and I thank you for doing so. I really appreciate you. And don't you worry, and maybe you say, I don't want to mess with no mail on this, I don't want none of that. Well, I'm still a fan of old Mike. Well, there'll be discounts for everybody. Just, you know, just you wait and see. It's going to be so cool. And really, the book is amazing. In fact, I plan on bundling the book with the video course as one of the options. But the video course, I'm digging down, really down into the weeds, and I'm giving you blow by blow as I go, stroke by stroke, really why I'm doing things, what it's about, and what it means philosophically, the whole 9 yards. It's awesome. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really, really appreciate you taking the time. I know you have a lot of options on YouTube, although it seems lately when I go to YouTube, I'm not getting much that I care to watch. But I thank you for coming around, and if you're new here, welcome. Tips ahoy, right? Until I come back with another video for your edification and enjoyment, do me a favor, do me a solid. Take good care of yourself, your family, all your loved ones. Stay out of trouble, and God bless you and your family.